Welcome, everybody, to Catfish Weekly, presented by Whisker Wear Apparel. Along with Doc Lang, I'm Lyle Stokes, and welcome to the show, everybody. We got a bunch of stuff to go over tonight, Doc. It's been a heck of a week for me, and we was talking, and you said it's really dry. I almost had to bail my yard today, but I got to go do something that we rarely get to do. Cindy and I went and done a bunch of fun fishing last week for our anniversary instead of fishing a tournament, and we absolutely had a blast.
Yeah, and you were killing me because I was at work, and I had to, especially when you sent me that one picture that fish you caught. Oh, man.
Yeah, Cindy caught a good one down there, a couple of good ones, and we kind of found a pattern, but we didn't tell anybody. I think I told you, but we didn't tell anybody that we was going to fish one day with one of the premier guys in the nation. And Thursday, we was lucky enough to drive up to Dyersburg and let Jeff Dodd get in the boat with us. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a more fun day on the water than there is with Jeff Dodd.
Yeah, that guy is a hoot. I've known him a bunch of years, and he just a laugh a minute with him.
He really is. He's full of stories. He's got great information, but there's one story, and I downloaded hours of video the other day, and we still got pictures with Jeff in the boat that have not been downloaded off our phones yet, so we still got a long way to go get it all done. But I just put Jeff in the seat of the old Monster Cat, and I said, here we go, let's go catch some fish, or at least find some. And he'd go up the river, and he'd go down the river, and he'd go back up the river. And we pulled over to the spot, and I was back in the back with the camera, and Cindy was up front talking with Jeff. And Jeff said, do you smell that? And Cindy thought there was something wrong with the boat. She said, what? He said, that smell right there, that's massengill water. We're going to fish some massengill water now. And I thought I would fall out of the boat. To me, that was the funniest thing in the world. Fishing with Jeff had been something I wanted to do for a long time, and him and I talked about it for a while, and things that just, it's like fishing with you. I knowed you forever, seemed like, and last year was the first time we ever got to fish together. But
we had a blast.
We did. We had a great time, and Jeff and Cindy and I had a really good time, and I'm even though Jeff and us didn't fish together in where we're going to fish at Monsters on the Ohio or Mississippi River Monsters. I got to do some editing and put this together, and then I'm going to let everybody sit in the boat with Jeff and Cindy and I, because we had a really fun time. We didn't catch a lot of fish, but Jeff told a lot of stories and give out some information, and I want to get it put together where he can approve what I do before it ever gets out. But you guys will absolutely enjoy it. We did. We had a great time, and then we went back. We was at Memphis a couple of days, and we really got in the rainstorm down there that last day we was down there. You had told me that it was turning purple, but before it sunk in what that meant, it was too late. We kind of got wet, but there'll be days.
I've only seen that a couple of times. I remember the one time Lynn and I and Daniel were out on the boat, and I asked her to look at the radar, and she goes, it's all purple. I said, uh-oh, that is bad. That's as bad as you can get when it's raining.
I think you're right. I mean, Cindy was after me to hurry up, and we loaded up and took off back to the ramp, and I was only running 30, 35 mile an hour, running very fast, and she kept looking over at me like there was something wrong. She's watching the sky, and I still didn't think nothing about it. I thought we had plenty of time. We get the boat on, and while I'm hooking it up and tying her down, it hit, and I'm telling you, it was a goose grounder. But at that point, we decided it was time to come home. We'd had so much fun, we couldn't stand anymore anyhow.
Yeah, good deal. And we're only 32 days, 10 hours, 22 minutes, and 15 seconds away from Mississippi River Monsters.
I'm wound up after being down there and getting on some pretty good fish down there and finding a place and a pattern for the unders. I'm really excited about getting down there. You and I and Cindy are going to fish this tournament, and Lynn's coming down with you. We're going to do some pre-fishing. If everything goes right, we have a special guest that's supposed to come down there and pre-fish a day or two with us. Again,
Yes, we do.
that'll be a blast. We'll get we're going to try to do some live feeds, and we'll sure enough be recording that and put that out maybe before Monsters on the Ohio. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I got one more thing before we bring our guest in, Doc. We have one tournament that was held that I don't have the results for to qualify for the Catfish Weekly National Championship. As of today, not including that one tournament, we have 335 qualified anglers to fish this tournament.
Awesome.
We was wanting to have 200 teams, and we're really, really close to 200 teams. By the time the rest of the tournaments run through, and I had a guy call me today that's going to have another one, so we're still getting tournament entries. We should easily enough have our 200 teams, and the way I figured it before, with 200 teams, first place for the Catfish Weekly National Championship on Lake Ozark in May will pay $24,000.
That's a little bit of change. That'll buy some gas.
Well, it probably would get you home to Ohio, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we hope everybody makes it. I'm figuring somewhere in the 80 to 90% range will show up, and if that's the case, we'll have a huge payday. But it's going to take 200 boats to get that amount of money for first place. But we're working on some other stuff, and we do have discounted motel rates and a bunch of stuff going to go on, and I'll be getting that stuff posted here pretty quick. We're going to get the rule package out before long. I've sent that to you and some other guys to look over to make sure it was where we need to be. I think it's just about right, and then we'll get all that up, and it's going to be a great time. All right. Have you got anything before we get started, Doc?
No. I'm
Okay.
good to go. I just wanted to get out that when that Mississippi River Monster tournament was coming up.
Oh, baby, I'm ready to rock for that. Tonight, we have the crew from Bottom Feeder Fishing, Nick Jones, Aaron Sweat, Sean Core, and we have a little Abigail there that I know very well, and she'll be joining the guys in a little bit. Welcome, fellas.
Thank you. What's going on?
It's a pretty good pleasure to have you guys on the show. We've heard a lot of good things about what you guys are got going on out there. And Nick, if you wouldn't mind, would you tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Yeah, well, we're a local fishing club here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Me and our vice president, Aaron, met up several years ago through some buddies fishing. And we started doing a couple of charity events well, actually, let me reiterate that. We started doing some fishing tournaments as charity events for a couple of local organizations. And the club spawned from there. There was a big gathering after the couple months following that of people asking us to do other events. And our local bait shop here, Riverside Bait and Tackle in Fayetteville, where we're at right now, has been nice enough to let us hold a lot of events here and host a lot of events to benefit a lot of different charities. And there's a couple charity organizations in the area that also do a yearly Fishing to Fight Cancer that we all, fish that as a yearly event. So it pretty much spawned from that. We're strictly, no membership fees, all volunteer basis. All our members from, me and Aaron and all of us, we're all volunteers with the support of all our pro staff and, all our significant others and the help from all of us. 2 years ago, we started off, like I said, with me and Aaron. Now we got 70 local members, and we've held probably 18 very successful events in the past year and a half. So it's been an awesome time and a pleasure to have met so many great people during the process also.
That's outstanding.
Yep.
There's one thing I want to touch on with you guys just a minute. You mentioned your significant others. Without those people, whether it be your wife or your girlfriend or whatever the case may be, Doc, you know as well as I do, none of us would be able to do the things that we do. We just couldn't. You have to have some cooperation. I'm very fortunate that Cindy likes to fish as much or more than I do, and I enjoy seeing her catch the fish as much as if I'm doing it myself. But you have to have those people behind you to support you, or it wouldn't be possible for any of us.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I tell you, some of our guys like, Sean, he's one of our pro staffers. These guys and all of them, all our pro staffers and just our members, man, they spend so much time on the water and away from their families just to be able to make these charity events. And, these guys love fishing the charity events. And, it's their passion. It's a way to do what you love and give back all in the process.
That's very true. I'm very happy to know that you guys do so many charity events. One of the guys that was an original member of Catfish Weekly, Paul Ragsdale, does so much of that stuff and gets. It's kind of a thankless job. You get very little recognition for what you do, but it's so important to help and do these things. And a lot of guys don't do it, can't do it, don't have time to do it, but. I got to commend you guys for all that stuff, because there's a great need for all that.
I appreciate it, man. It's been a pleasure. I tell you, just like you said, all the people we meet doing this, also, none of us would be here today hanging out if it wasn't for, our common bond of catfishing and helping others. It's a great time, man. We have a blast doing it.
That's outstanding. Well, listen, I'm going to let Doc visit with you a little bit and see how much we can get covered. If you think there's something that we need to go over that Doc and I don't ask you about it, let us know. We want to get everything out for people to the word out for everything you do to as many people as we can. So we want to make sure we cover all the bases.
Cool deal. All right, guys. Glad to have you on the show. You're from North Carolina?
Yes, sir. Right out Fayetteville, North Carolina, and the surrounding areas.
Now, are you guys fishing rivers or are you fishing lakes?
Both. We're actually located right here in town. We're at the local Riverside Bait and Tackle, downtown Fayetteville, which is on the Cape Fear River. And the Cape Fear River flows from here down to Wilmington to the coast into the intercoastal water and the Brunswick River. And then there's also several lakes around here. You got Lake Gaston up on the north part of North Carolina, and we've got a couple smaller lakes around here. And then I'm actually originally from Charlotte, back home around Lake Norman. So, and all of us, we're spread out, so everybody fishes all over, really.
Yeah. Cool. So the river systems, how big are the river systems as compared? I fish the Ohio, and then I fish the Mississippi too, but I'm just trying to get a feel of what size of river we're talking about.
It depends on
The stretch.
where you're at in North Carolina. Okay. The Cape Fear actually is fed by two rivers up towards Sanford and Raleigh. The Hall River and the Deep River conjoin. And from there, it's probably 75 yards across, maybe 10 foot deep average. And then you'll hit a dam. It'll drop down. You'll have another stretch. It may be an average of 5 foot at 100 yards across. And then there's a lot of rocks in Lillington, a lot of rapids. It's very, very shallow. Averages about 2 foot the whole length for about 30 miles.
Yeah, long stretch. Yeah, there's a long stretch that is not even really navigable by boat unless you're on kayak. Mm-hmm. And then when you get down to where we're at, you're in more of a deeper water.
It averages 12 foot down here, probably 100 yards, 75 to 100 yards in some places. And then as you get towards Wilmington, it's 20, 30 foot deep. And actually, once you get into Wilmington, it's over a mile wide.
Is there a lot of turns and bends in the river, or is it like a straight run?
Yeah, it's snake and winds here big time. And then even where Sean's from, he can kind of tell you more about the Neuse River than we could. If you kind of want to explain how it is up there.
Yeah, well, the Neuse River, it's like they were saying, it's real windy, snaky. The only problem with fishing on the Neuse River is it doesn't have anything that sustains the level of water, so it fluctuates very fast.
Here on the Cape Fear, we've got like a series of 3 locking dams from Fayetteville on down, so the water's more not really regulated because it flows freely through them dams, but You know, the Cape Fear was an old barge river, so you've got that dredge channel here to where, like he's talking about in the news, there is no dams at all. And you know, when it's like right now, we've only had rain probably once or twice in about 2 weeks. And so the water levels up there are really low. I mean, there's sections that, you know, you'd have to get out and drag the boat across, I imagine.
Up until the late 70s, I think, is when the commerce finally ended on the Cape Fear. And the barges ton and the party boats and stuff like that. And they'd have, you know, all kinds of stuff. You'd have commercial traffic in the river. And nowadays, it's not like that. You might see a tugboat every other year coming up here to work on our Public Works Commission, where they pull the water out of the river to treat it. But that's about all you'll see. Other than that, it's just fishing. Guys like us fishing.
Right. Now, what's a primary species you guys are targeting?
I lost you on that last part.
What's a primary species that you're
Blue cats,
targeting?
and you got a lot of blue cats and flatheads in this area. You know, normally at the weigh-ins, the majority of fish caught are blues. And, I mean, as far as a percentage, I'd say you've got your flatheads, and it's all in the season, too, in the time of year, really in them areas. I mean, I'd say this last weigh-in, we had more blues than flatheads compared to the Neuse River tournament. I believe they had a month or so ago up there where it was all flatheads weighed in pretty much, maybe very few blues. So it's particular to the area. I know flatheads are more prevalent around Sean's neck of the woods.
Okay. One of our listeners happens to be one of our sponsors. That's Robert from Survivor. He wants to know, what's the current like on the rivers?
The current here can flux. Like right now, I mean, you can be right here behind the bait and tackle shop with maybe a mile or 2 per hour current because of the lack of rain. But you let a good rain come through, and the upper lake, it really accords to Jordan Lake. When they start letting water through, really predict what kind of current we're going to have. So you can almost watch the outflow meter from the dam and kind of predict what kind of current's going to be. You know, if you haven't had any rain, it's going to be that mile or 2 per hour.
Yeah.
Really slow, slack current, which makes for hard fishing, as you know.
Yeah. Now, are you guys anchoring down, or are you drifting, or dragging, or what do you do? How does everybody fish?
I'd say but I know a lot of us, and especially tournament fishing here in the Cape Fear. Me personally, I do more anchor fishing than anything else. I know Sean does a lot of suspended planer board fishing, drift fishing, and stuff in the lakes, and we do more of the anchor fishing than drift fishing here.
Okay.
But I've noticed guys are starting to venture out a little bit after watching some of Mr. Lyle's videos this past week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really changed over the years from what we're doing now, from what we used to do 20 years ago. Big change. Everything was always anchored when I first started out. Now we're back bouncing, we're drifting, we're running planer boards. I don't know what's next to come, but
yeah,
it's going to get interesting. How about bait? What are you guys using for bait?
Use any. I mean, here
Shad,
yeah,
brim, white perch.
Again, a lot of it's seasonal here with the Cape Fear River with the lock systems. They've got fish ladders, so in the springtime you've got the American shad that run up
from the coast.
If you're down in Wilmington, you've got freshwater eel and mullet that a lot of people will use for catfish bait down there. Fresh shrimp, because you're in more of the brackish water area. We've had guys clean out their live wells after tournaments down there and pull out crab legs out of the live wells. So it depends on where you're at. But here, the bait is really not an issue. We've caught anything from white perch, brim, an array of sunfish right here, behind the bait shop. brim's pretty easy to catch here. There's a lot of bass fishing done in the river here.
Okay, I'm looking at.
Okay.
Oh, Dieter jumps in there. He goes, fish ladder. I didn't know fish had feet. Oh boy.
It's actually a series of step up rocks. It's a row of rocks, and a row of rocks with a rapid pretty much all the way up to where fish can gradually work their way up the steps there, and it's made for the migration of the shad and for the fish in the river. The Cape Fear River is, like I said, the American shad
Spawning point.
come up here, and without those locks, they wouldn't be able to get past a certain point. So with the lock systems, they're able to get up.
Allows them to migrate on upstream.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if there's actually a big group of shad that show up at the lock, they'll actually put the group of shad in the lock, fill the lock up, open the doors, and allow them to, swim on upriver without having to move up the fish ladder.
Yeah, they'll track them as far as they go up the Cape Fear.
It's a big ordeal around here. You'll have thousands of people come from all over the state, knowing when the shad are running, and they'll be down there with their, flies and pretty much anything. Catch them on crappy jigs.
Shark darts.
Yeah, little shad darts. I mean, just about anything, little chartreuse fly, something like that. They'll tear them up. People eat the roe out too.
They what?
The roe, the eggs that they have.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Cut them open, and that's what they're after. They eat roe and eggs for breakfast.
Shad roe.
The shad roe.
Oh, wow.
Not me.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a call here at the bait shop.
Oh.
That shad roe must taste better than a shad smells.
I tell you that, a friend of mine said his wife brought a shad home one day, and she just had to cook it. She wanted to know what it was like. He said they wound up throwing the whole frying pan away.
Oh, man.
That's bad.
That is bad.
Yeah, we don't have skipjack or anything like that here in town, but I know just right south of us, a lot of our guys that fish, we've got some new guys that's joined up out of the PD River and the southern part of the PD River, and then down at Santee, I know skipjack is more of the prevalent bait there and stuff.
Cool. Hey, Lyle.
I know. I see the message.
Oh, yeah. I think it's time that we spin that wheel. Concrete
Well,
Man jumping right in there.
Guess who forgot to load up everything? I can't believe it. It won't take me but just a second. That's 2 weeks in a row, and I'm feeling kind of bad about that. But as bad as I feel, there's not a whole lot I can do about it at this point, except load it up.
Last week, I didn't give you any warning. I just fired it right up at you.
I knew I was in trouble when I seen that post.
Yeah. So, I mean, the time goes by so quick while we're talking, and you don't like to interrupt guests and stuff like that. But everybody wants to spin that wheel.
Right?
All right. Somebody there pick us out a low number. Throw
out a 7.
There we go. 7 it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the winner is Josh Stroud.
Uh-oh.
Josh Stroud.
That's a local guy to you guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good deal.
And, him and his son come to a lot of our events.
That's awesome. Well, I tell you what, let me get this back up, and let's just see what Josh wins. Now, don't forget this. We got a spot. We got something for this spot, but we haven't hit it yet. Here we go.
All right, and the music is on.
Just like Price is Right. Oh, missed it by 1.
Oh,
Missed it by one. Tennessee River Monsters. Josh, if you'll contact Captain Scott Manning at Tennessee River Monsters, he has a package for you down there. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it'll probably be some of his new rattle weights. What do they call them, Doc?
Demon dragons.
Demon dragons.
right on.
And
Awesome
pretty
fishing.
awesome. Yep, pretty awesome fishing thing, and he's got everything set up. So contact Captain Scott Manning, Tennessee River Monsters, and he will hook you up.
Good deal.
Pretty cool.
All right, where were we at? Okay, your turn, Lyle. I'm checking the
All right.
I don't know if anybody's asking. Oh, everybody's saying, pick me, pick me.
Pick
Okay.
me, pick me.
Yeah.
Do any of you get to meet Ed Davis before he passed away? He was Cape Fear catfishing legend.
I lost audio on you there, bud.
I said Dieter would like to know if any of you guys got to meet Ed Davis before he passed away.
I did not.
Well, according to Dieter, he was quite the fisherman, and that's the kind of guys we need. Hey, Tony, how are you doing? Welcome to Catfish Weekly. Tony Caton just joined. We have a bunch of the big names in the sport in watching you guys tonight. We got Dieter Melhorn and Danny Calderon, the guys from Northwood Angling, Old Man Catfishing, Bottom Dollars Outdoors. There's a whole bunch of guys in here that have shows and stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Right.
So
I check out a lot of Dieter's, Dieter and Luke from Northwoods Angling. I check out a lot of their videos. Awesome guys. Dieter's down there in my neck of the woods from Lake Wiley. My little brother still stays down there.
I think a lot of Dieter and of Luke both. I really enjoy their live feeds, but if they just done videos, I would watch them anyhow because they're so entertaining. And it's not about, although they both catch quite a few and a lot of fish, as does Danny and some of the others. I don't watch them because they catch fish. I watch their shows because they're entertaining. They make me smile. They make me laugh. They give out quality information. There's some of the guys that do these shows that the information they give, they probably shouldn't be doing them. And that's okay. They want to do them, and I understand that, but the information just isn't there. These guys, quality stuff, and it's good for the sport. It's good for what they do, and it's good for people coming along. And that's the kind of people we need to make videos and do the live feeds like Luke and Dieter do, because you don't want somebody telling you a bunch of crap that ain't right. And next thing you know, the people are losing interest in fishing, and we don't want that at all.
Yeah, well, like anything else, to me, the best way to learn is to watch. And being able to watch some videos, you can learn a lot just by being right there in the boat, with them guys. And, hats off to them for taking that kind of time. And we try to do the same also as much as we can. We've got our YouTube channel that we're trying to build up, and we've got some videos of Sean out on the water and trying to get more footage and stuff like that, because it just helps. It helps bring people out. Like I said, within the past year and a half, we've probably had 20 members go out and buy boats. People have never even owned boats before. And, these guys are out fishing together every other weekend and, making new friends and traveling new places. And, that's what it's all about. That's how we started. And me and Aaron were lucky enough to have a fishing partner who kind of showed us the ropes and took us out. And it was more than just fishing. It was life lessons that you learn out there.
That's exactly right.
How to treat people.
That's exactly right. I used to fish a lot with a friend of mine who is still a great friend of mine. His name is Heath Atkins. He lives over around Columbia, Missouri. Keith and I fish tournaments together. We fun fish together. And I promise you, we fix more of the world's problems than any politician ever did. None of them ever heard a word of it, but we had such a great time. He was a good fisherman. We had a wonderful time, and I talked to him every once in a while, and he's just kind of far away, and he's just got remarried and all that. he's got things to do and I got things to do, but I miss old Keith really bad. And we're going to get together one of these days, surprise everybody. He's going to show up, fish with Cindy and I at a tournament. We're going to try to set him on fire.
All right, got several questions here. Catfish Clothing wants to know, how many tournaments do they fish per year?
Wow. I was going to say, we've had our own tournament, probably about one tournament a month for the past 16 months. We've taken the past 2 months off to do a couple local charity events and to focus on some fundraisers that we had for some friends of ours. Our secretary and my girlfriend, her sister's been fighting cancer. And we've got another friend of ours who's trying to get out the word for melanoma cancer. So we've been doing a lot of those fundraisers and taking some time off. But I'd say on the average, at the first of this year, we were fishing 2 and 3 tournaments a week. And with us branching out, now that we've got different members, we're not going to do as many tournaments. We're going to focus on our charity events, but our club is going to go fish other events as a club. We're going to start spreading out to some of the local tournament trails, some of the bigger events and stuff like that. So that's our goal for the next year, is to kind of spread out and get our guys in some bigger events and spread the word about what we're doing.
Good
Very
deal.
nice.
All right. Dieter wants to know, what are the best months for trophy cats on the Cape Fear?
I couldn't hear you.
Dieter wants to know, what are the best months for trophy cats on the Cape Fear?
You say the best spots?
Yeah.
Months. The best months to fish out there.
Gotcha. Sorry, we got a break in here between the crickets and the
And the aquarium pumps
and the aquarium
crawfish
but yeah, I'd say the best months. I mean, after the spawn, we've had a pretty rough summer. I know with the last
since
dark moon of July, things have started to pick up. We had a Riverside actually had an event this past weekend that had a 45-pound flathead pulled in, which is one of the bigger fish that's been seen. Sean caught one of the bigger fish that we've seen in about a year. The morning of July 4th, Sean called me, had caught a 67-pound blue down here, which was abnormal for that time of year. And, but as far as the better months, springtime when the shad run starts is really key to follow the shad. When you're following that bait, you're following the catfish here.
Yep. Good deal.
I'd say October.
Yeah.
October is one of the
Fall time's really good too. That's whenever
October and December, I would say.
When the water starts cooling off a little bit and they're coming out and feeding a little bit more. It's that first big freeze.
Yeah.
The state record flatheads from this stretch of the river behind us, though.
How big is that?
78
pounds.
78 pounds.
Yeah, I believe, I'm not sure of the year, but it's been some years since that state record's been caught. I know last year alone, that flathead, Sean ran into a flathead that he hooked up with last year and got in the boat, which was a good 55, 60 pounds. Close. We didn't have any scales that night. It was a big old fish. But
it was almost 72 inches long.
Yeah. I mean, he covered from one end of the boat to the other. And he was one of the bigger fish we've seen in this area. There's a lot of, with all the tournaments that go on here, they're all catch and release tournaments. So all these fish are put in right here, back behind the river. So they're here. It's just getting out there and getting on them. This is a picky section of river with the water fluctuations also. So you figure if fish go upriver and the waters come down, there's spots where they get trapped upriver and can't get down, and then they get in between the locks and stuff. So it's one of the things for the Cape Fear River, just like anywhere else, you got to be out there. You got to be out there on a regular basis.
Don't be scared to try anything.
Yeah.
Always take more than one bait with you on the boat, and just try. If nothing's working, try something different. It won't hurt.
Yeah. I know it's been real tough since October when Hurricane Matthew came through. The river was 0.3 feet away from setting a new record of height for the flood stage. Part of Fayetteville went underwater. Riverside's basement underneath us actually went underwater, and they lost every bit of bait, all their bait coolers,
from where we're sitting,
pumps.
From where we're sitting down to the boat ramp, and the elevation is probably a good 45 feet. Yeah, and like the water was in the basement of where we're sitting.
Wow.
So the water had come up that high. And it really devastated right here at Riverside. They've got a amphitheater behind that. I mean, it devastated, ruined the stage out there, which, you know, this is the venue for our, not ours, but for the Fishing to Fight Cancer tournament that an organization here in town does every year. And so it was a really big deal and a big devastation, and everybody's chipped in to make it happen. And we've actually got the tournament that I was telling Mr. Lyle about coming up Friday the 13th in October. It'll be Friday night. It's actually kicking off an event we're doing here, NC Vet Fest 2017, which will be a free catfish tournament for veterans. We've got captains that are volunteering to take out veterans for that trip, and it's going to be free for the captains and veterans. We'll have prizes for everybody donated from a lot of our sponsors, and then our club also has went and raised money to be able to, you know, buy prizes for that event and everything. And that event will kick off the stage being rebuilt and everything here. So there's a lot going on here in the next couple months with the club and events that we do have. And if anybody, you know, wants to get a part of that and would like to take a captain out and come check out the Cape Fear River, like I said, it's a free event. It'd be a great time to do it without having to, you know, put up the money for a big time tournament or anything like that. You can come in, you know, do your duty back to your country and take a veteran out and help us out also be able to put this event on. So anybody that wants to reach out to us, just hit us up on our Facebook page or anything like that.
When is that again?
It's Friday, October the 13th. It's going to be an overnight event. It's going to start at 7 o'clock that night until 10 o'clock the next morning. So it's Friday the 13th and 14th, and the 14th will be the weigh-in.
That is an outstanding thing to be doing.
Thank you, Lyle. Yeah, like I said, I couldn't do it without the help of all these guys. I mean, we've got several guys, obviously, that we couldn't even fit in this room if we really wanted to get everybody in here who wanted to be here. But like I said, with everybody, you know, it comes together. It just works out.
That's great. Dieter would like to know when your veterans tournament is.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. That's going to be October, Friday the 13th. And anybody interested in taking a veteran out for that trip, just contact us. And we've got an organization that we're working with here who's actually hosting the event, which is a VetSAR program. And they're the National Veteran Search and Recovery Program. And they go out and help veterans who are missing, who maybe have Alzheimer's, dementia. They're first responders to PTSD, you know, veteran suicide prevention and stuff like that, missing veterans and stuff. So they're the ones hosting this event, and they asked us to come on board, and we volunteered to put up the Catfish event to kind of help promote the event and kick everything off.
That's outstanding. Dieter said to tell you guys to email him that information so he can tell all his North Carolina folks about it, and I think that's a great idea. If anytime you have any information like that, feel free to post that stuff on Catfish Weekly's page. We would love to have it on the group page, so people, maybe we can get a few more out there and really get you a big crowd. Matt Sanders said he would like to thank you guys for honoring our veterans, as we all would. I think I told you about the Fishing for Freedom tournament Cindy and I fish every year, where we take a veteran, not necessarily a veteran, but a military person, past or present. It's probably our favorite tournament of the year. There's no money involved, and it is so much fun. And if you guys that are listening would like to do one of the most rewarding events that you could ever possibly do, get a hold of these guys and go out and take a military person out for a day or a night on the water. I guarantee you it'll be a time you will never forget.
Absolutely, man. These guys, a lot of our members, you know, are active duty. We're right here outside of Fort Bragg. We've got several active duty You know, these guys are away from their homes and can't get out and, you know, do anything because they're away from home. They don't really know the area. And we started meeting guys down here. We've been lucky enough to run up with a couple of our guys. One of our pro staff now, Justin Grail, who is active duty, you know, and just the way them guys reach out to each other and make sure to get each other on the water and help each other out is just awesome.
It is. It's really something, and it's so special to so many of us. And those of us that's had children, our family members in the military, it's really special to us. And like I say, we fish it every year. We enjoy it very much. I know a lot of other people that do, and the event they have in Quincy is monstrous. And I hope that you guys have that kind of success out there with what you're doing.
I appreciate it, man. I tell you, it's that's what our goal is. I'd love to see it grow every year. Like a lot of these events, our first event that we kicked off with was a Fishing for Vision. We had, you know, 19 boats. The second event we had 20-some boats, and each time it just grows. Immediately when we started talking about this, it's been a month into planning. We've already got 10 veterans. Got several companies jumped on board to help us out with the you know, items for all the veterans and the captains that are going to be going out, and their prizes and everything for the day. So it's been a blessing just to have all the help that we have had.
Well, and that's something that people forget. And I will mention this too. Even though you have guys with boats taking these people out and they're all excited about going, I'm sure you would take any volunteers that would come down and help you do this event.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
People to help work an event is something that is hard to come by. And an event like this where there's not any pay for it, it's even harder to get people. But this is the kind of thing that everybody needs to get involved with. These guys give a lot to us. It doesn't hurt any of us to give back just a little bit.
Yeah, there's a big bass tournament that goes on every year that one of our guys, his father's a part of, called the Warriors on the Water.
Mm-hmm.
And the bass tournament happens at Jordan Lake. And we were actually, I got to volunteer for a couple hours this year. And we plan on going back as a group next year and helping out. And you talking about over 100 and some boats just to watch this being orchestrated. You know, it's awesome to watch that many people come together and make something like that happen. Because I mean, it takes numerous amounts of people and time. And you know, for them guys to put it together, that kind of was our goal, to realize, all right, this is how it's done, and this is what we want to be.
That's right. That's outstanding. We're pulling for you, boys, and if there's anything that Doc and I can do through Catfish Weekly, don't hesitate. We'll be glad to help you if we can. Do you happen to know a gentleman by the name of Jason Robinson?
Yes, sir.
Jason says you're a stand-up guy, which I knew the day I talked to you that you was, and was thrilled that you take the time to do the show with us.
Thanks, Mr. Jason, for tuning in, man. He's one of our newer members down in South Carolina. And I really, man, like I said, the support pours out, man. I get phone calls on the daily of people wanting to join us. We've had some of the local tournament trail leaders actually join up with us, which was it was awesome to be reached out to by them guys, you know, wanting to join what we're doing. And that's what it's all about. That's what we're all about, is getting together and having a good time. Anybody ever down in the Fayetteville area, I mean, check us out. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We're very active on where we're at, where we're fishing. You know, if we got room on the boat, we'll throw you out on the boat with us. If we got time or got room, you know. So definitely, if anybody's down this way wants to get up with us, feel free to contact us on the page or you know, Instagram.
And thanks to Jason for looking out for us at Bass Pro Shops this past weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Jason went on the RigRap hunt this weekend. And I think he ordered him the old backpack with the RigRap. So he's going to be hooked up for a tournament we got going on this weekend.
Heck yeah, that's outstanding. Now, do you guys have anything else going on that you can tell us about that's upcoming events?
As far as events go, we don't have anything set in stone as far as dates, except for next April, one of our members is the fire chief at Bowie Creek Fire Department, which is one of the local fire departments, and they put on an event every year, which is a pay tournament. All the proceeds go fallen firefighters. I'm not sure the actual charity, but it goes towards the fallen firefighter charity, and that's put on next April 28th.
That's outstanding.
And then,
Another great cause.
Yep, and then that's going to be our focus this year. We had a free event for kids. We had a catfish for kids, catfish tournament out on Sharon Harris, about a 4-hour tournament, and that's one of those local smaller lakes that's got I wouldn't say smaller, but it's got some of the smaller fish, more prevalent in size. So the guys were able to go out there. Again, all volunteers going out there to take these kids on a free event.
Outstanding.
They went fishing for 3-4 hours, and we let the kids weigh in all the fish, and it was an awesome event.
I'll bet. I've got some information that I would like to share with you, gentlemen.
All right.
Dieter Melhorn says that he'd like to shoot a video with you.
I lost.
Did you get it?
No, not yet.
Haven't got it?
There we go.
There you go.
All right. Dieter Melhorn wants to shoot a video with you guys. And personally, I think that's an outstanding idea.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'd be thrilled. Dieter, I'll hit you up whenever we get off. I'll send you an email, and we'll swap information. And we would be absolutely honored to get on the boat.
Absolutely. Luke at Northwood Angling says he'll be on your Facebook, as will I. And like I say, any links or anything like that we can do to help you out, be happy to do it. Don't hesitate. Anything we can do to help you guys, that's what we want to do. So, just kind of keep us in the loop. Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
I sure will.
It's time to spin that wheel.
All right. Hey, have you guys still got Abigail there?
I do. I was just about to ask you. I was just about to remind you about the speaking of the Fishing for Freedom that you do every year. One of our members, we got to talking the other day. I know you know, but everybody else doesn't. One of our members, Abigail, me and her father were good friends. Actually, my cousin, which is also one of the Bottom Feeders members, they were her father and my cousin were neighbors and fishing buddies. And Abigail actually was lucky enough to go fishing with Mr. Lyle on the Fishing for Freedom.
Yep.
And we got to talking the other day, and she said, "Oh, Lyle Stokes, I know him." She said, "I've been on his boat." She started breaking out pictures. I was like, "Oh."
We had such a great time. She's such a perfect little lady to have in a boat with us. We enjoyed it so much. Abigail, would you pick out a low number for us, and we're going to spin the RigRap Prize wheel?
Let's go with 47.
Low
That ain't
number.
a low.
I'll be there all day.
Low.
Say under 10.
What's
What'd
that?
she say? Go ahead and repeat the number. We missed it. 4. Okay.
4.
Number
Here we
4.
go. All righty. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the winner is Josh Kilgore. Let me get this wrote down. We're going the highway to heaven now, baby.
Uh-oh.
Josh Kilgore, you need to get a hold of George Young Jr. You
Oh,
have
boy.
just won yourself a B&M bumping rod.
Uh-oh.
Pretty good prize there. So be sure and contact George Young. He has all that information. They will hook you up and make sure that you get that taken care of.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Now, Abigail, how have you been?
I have been really good, Miss Lyle. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Have you been catching a lot of fish?
I have. Nick and I went out. Oh gosh, I'm say a couple weeks ago, and basically when we go out, he gives me the poles and helps me cast them out there, and basically it's all on me.
Yeah.
He doesn't
it's all
bait them
about
up and
helping
cast them out like I did.
Well, not quite as good as you, but he's getting there.
Hey, she's learning now. She can cast a bait caster now. She's learning. But she broke her personal best a couple weeks ago before I sold my boat. I'm actually, thanks to Mr. Jason Robinson, about to get a new one. And he's going to help me get back on the water, man. Like I said, you know, that's just another thing, having guys like this to reach out and help us and stuff. But, you know, back to it. Abby got on her personal best a couple weeks ago, and she's been gaining on that. So she's working hard, putting in the work. Abby's definitely a learner, and she's here to show them what's up in the lady angler positions.
I love ripping lips.
That's right. That's right. We had such a wonderful time. She still got the stuffed catfish you gave her.
I do.
Oh. Well,
I actually gave it to Nick's daughter, and she still has it. It's sitting in her room.
That's outstanding. You know, a lot of people have heard the story, but a lot of people don't know that a good friend of ours, Lyle David, was actually to take the trip with us for Fishing for Freedom, and he donated that trip to Abigail to go out. And instead, I got a friend of mine to take his boat and videotape our trip with her. And like I say, I found out a bunch of that, and he is such a great guy. We got to be involved with him in the Fishing for Freedom tournament 2 years in a row. And I understand he's out east someplace now, and I really miss seeing him. He's a great guy for the sport, and he donated that trip to you, Abigail, in memory of your dad. And that's a pretty touching deal. We were so happy that you showed up and went in and got in the boat with us. And this year, you might like to know that we took another lady out in the boat. Becky Ann went with us, and she's former military herself, and we had a great time. But the fishing wasn't any better with her in the boat than it was when you went there. But
that's why she got the stuffed catfish.
Yep,
she said you felt sorry for her.
Oh, man. If I remember right, I ended up giving you a fishing rod too, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
She still got it.
That? Do you use it?
It's currently sitting at my house. And the pink reel that went along with it.
That's nice. That's nice. Well, we was really happy to take you out, and I hope if you find your way back to Missouri sometime, you'll give us a holler and we'll go fishing again. I'll try to redeem myself from that last trip.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely try and make it out. We've actually got one of our pro staff members who's going to be leaving us. He's active duty, and he's going to be going back to Fort Campbell, and so he's going to be back out your way, and so we'll have somebody from Bottom Feeders out that way, representing Bottom Feeders and trying to continue what we're doing out that way also.
That's really cool. That's really cool. If he makes it to the Lake of the Ozarks area, have him get in touch with me. We'd love to take him out for a day fishing. I don't know exactly how far Fort Campbell is, but it's a ways.
Yeah, I think he said he's about 4 hours out.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. He said he is local. We were talking about the actual the national championship next year, the Catfish Weekly at the Lake Ozarks. I was telling him about that.
Yep. Well, we're going to have a big time with that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I was telling Doc a while ago, 335 people have now qualified for that event, and we got a bunch of them yet to go. So we're hoping to make 200 boats, and if so, we'll have a big payout, and that's kind of what everybody wants is a big payout. So we hope that we can make that happen and get reasonable rates for everybody to stay, because we got people that's coming. Pardon me. Going to spend a week up here pre-fishing for the event. It's turning into something really good.
Good deal.
All right. Well, listen, we're running on about an hour, Nick. I want to thank all you guys for spending your time on the show with us tonight. It was so good to get to see Abby. I was thrilled when you told me that she was there tonight. It was really cool deal. Such a nice young lady with a bright future, and we're all pulling for anything that she has going on. But if you guys have anybody that you'd like to thank or anything that you'd like to tell everybody about, especially how to get in touch with you guys, go ahead and do so.
Yeah, man, I'd like to give a big shout out to the guys here at Riverside Bait and Tackle, the folks at Fish Wide Open, which is the clothing I'm wearing, a percentage of their proceeds back to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Also, the former president of Swamp Boys is the owner of this company, and they're the ones who put on the big Fishing to Fight Cancer tournament here in town every year, which brings a lot of anglers. They have over 130 boats last year, I believe, on this stretch of river, and then Carolina Outdoor Magazine, RigRap's Hooker's Terminal Tackle made me a sponsor angler today. Also, RigRap's for making me part of their pro staff. And all the companies we deal with, the guys from Big Cat Fever Rods and Fish Bite Rod Holders. I want to thank everybody, like I said, and we really appreciate it. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube. And if there's anything that bottom feeders can do to help you guys, get the word out, likewise about sharing the word about events and stuff like that, please contact us, man. We really appreciate it. It's been an honor to be on the show that we've watched forever.
Well, you know what, Nick? If you guys keep doing what you're doing, that's the best thing you can do for all of us.
We will, man. I can promise you that. We're going to keep at it. I really appreciate it, buddy. It's motivation to be on the show. I tell you, it really is. Well,
listen, you guys, if anything jumps up that you need to get the word out, please get in touch with Doc or I. We'll be glad to set it up, even if it's for a whole show or if it's just for something you need to get the word out, and we do a 10, 15, 20-minute segment. We'll be happy to do that. Anything we can do to help you guys out, we'll be happy to do so.
Thank you so much for having us on, Doc and Lyle. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Abigail.
Anytime. It was great.
Abby, I hope to see you soon. If you see my buddy Lyle David, you holler at him, tell him I've been thinking about him, would you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right,
thanks again, guys. We'll see y'all real soon.
All right, buddy.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Man, that's a great thing they got going on out there, Doc, and a lot of time spent, a lot of energy spent for nothing but a thank you, and I'm quite sure they don't get near enough of them, but they got some wonderful projects going, and there should be a lot more than that. But guys like Nick and Sean and Aaron, and they get this going. They've got a great deal going. I've heard about it for some time, and it's just it's a great deal. I hope that some people set up and take notice of what they're doing, and maybe start events like that in their areas.
Right. So yep, it's really good. That's for sure. I love what people doing stuff for vets and stuff like that. I never had the opportunity to get into service, but I had two brothers that did, and think the world of vets.
Absolutely, that's something that's very near and dear to us. And I noticed that they said something about St. Jude's. That's something that I'm very high on also, because all the proceeds that they send out there will help these kids that have fighting cancer problems and things like that. And there's so many worthwhile things that people can donate to, but our veterans, they're the ones that make everything possible for all of us. They got to be a high priority on any list.
Good deal.
What have you got for tournament results, Doc?
Tournament results. Cabela's King Cat was on Fort Madison, Iowa. It was a super event, 2 days on the Mississippi River. 27 boats involved. First place, Brian Espy and Ken Luttrell, 94.02 pounds. Second, Jim Gilwater and Josh Mays, 87.42 pounds. Third, Joey Heckoff and Jerry Cox, 82.70, and they had the big fish of the tournament, which was a 14.92 pound I think that was a flathead, I think. It may have been a channel, I don't know. Fourth place, Mark Farrow and Jerry Klein the second, 75.64 pounds. Fifth, Ron King and John King, 70.34 pounds. And sixth place, Buddy Weisenberger and Weisenberger, 69.74 pounds. Kind of interesting fact, there is a four-way race for Angler of the Year, and they are all from Ohio, where I live. Yeah, so another tight race. It was the same last year. It was about 3 guys, and this year it's all 4 Buckeyes chasing after Angler of the Year with 2 events left.
Outstanding.
My other one I've got is Catfish Country, which was on Manchester on the Ohio River, 10 votes. First place, Vic and Linda Shepard, 43.7. Second, Ray Butler and Scott Wilson, 39 pounds. They also had Big Fish, which was a 32.9 pound. And third, Tim Mulvihill and Grant Wilson, 28.75. That's what I got, Lyle.
All right, buddy. I have the results from the King of the Ohio tournament that was held out this past weekend. And the winner of that was Jeff Smeltz and Johnny Marshall. Second place was Nick Hahn, Andrew Hahn, and Casey Tudorow. Then we have Jeremiah Keene and Andy Williams, and James Holcomb and Lloyd Tanner. On the Twisted Cat Outdoor tournament that was held in Cape Girardeau, Aaron Wheatley and Rob Benefield, first place. Good job for them guys. Second place was Brad Shoemate, Ben Weber, and Mike Lauber. Third place was Jeremy Ransom, George Young Jr., and Ben Goebel. Hunter Jones, Jason Adcock, and I can't read that last one, but let me see if I can find it. Jason Adcock and Ryan Royner was fourth place. Fifth place was Derek Stone, Silas Stone, and Brandon Mockins. Pretty big hitters in that tournament.
Yep.
You know, that's pretty big deal.
That was at Cape Girardeau, wasn't it?
Cape Girardeau on the Mississippi River, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I also have the Glasgow City tournament results. Another qualifying event. Both of the previous ones was qualifying events. Jeremy Cordy, Laura Cordy, first place. Dale Smith, Daniel Jacobs for second. Ben Cordy, Courtney McMillan for third. Fourth was Kurt Bennett, Andy Ogden, and fifth was Brad Young, Shelby Beeler. There was some of those people that was already qualified, but their partners wasn't, so now that would fill up a bunch of those deals. I have another tournament result here as soon as I can come up with it. I know it's here. While I'm looking for that, Mississippi Catfish Trail will be holding a tournament this weekend at Helena, Arkansas. You can contact them at the Mississippi Catfish Trail Facebook page. And by the way, Rose Thompson is now selling lead sinkers. All-American Catfishing out of Kansas City, Kansas. First place, John Hooverson and Guy Masters. Second, Chris Quigley and Christian Graham. Third, Andrew Carnes and Randy Morgan. Fourth, Brian Brandstetter and Matt Brady. And fifth was John Barterfield and Michael Butterfield. Sorry. And those also Catfish Weekly National qualifying events. So we qualified a bunch of people this weekend, Doc.
Yes, we did.
We still have a tournament we haven't got any results on yet, but I'm sure that they will get them to me. Like I say, we have more people signing up for them all the time, and it's going to be a huge event. It never dreamed it would reach this size. I really didn't, but I'm very happy about that. Oh, I'm sorry, Marty. You're right. How did I miss that? Let me find that again. Marty Gerloff actually I don't know how I don't have him named, but Marty Gerloff and Savannah Styles. I don't know how I didn't get that on there. I have everything wrote down, and they had a partner with them. I don't have his name. Won the tournament. I'm looking for it. I don't know how I missed that, because it didn't copy when I printed it out. I'm very sorry, Marty. You know, I'd never do that to you, but Marty Gerloff and Savannah, and I can't remember the guy they fished with, and I should know him, but they won the tournament over there. Pardon me?
Marty said Tony.
Tony DeBuff. Yeah, it was the Glasgow tournament. And I know what happened, and I'm very sorry, Marty.
Thanks, Marty.
There was so many people that was qualified. I was having to split them up to get the ones qualified down, and I didn't get you guys in there. And what I copied and pasted was the ones that actually qualified for the tournament and not how it won. But yeah, Marty was doing a live feed the other night, and Savannah put a really nice 50-pound blue in the boat at night while they was up there feeding. And if you get a chance to watch that, it's extremely comical. I watch a lot of Marty's feeds. He does when they're night fishing and stuff. And Savannah's a hoot now. I'm telling you, if you get a chance, run over to Marty Gerloff's Facebook page, pull that up, and take a listen at it. It's quite entertaining. And he also has the one where Tony caught a really nice fish too. So check it out. You'll enjoy it, I promise. Doc, how about a tip of the night?
All right, tip of the night. When I'm lake fishing, I use drift socks. One of the things that I do with the drift socks is I like to station them around the boat. You know, most people just go right to their cleats and hook the drift socks on their cleats. I don't like to do that. I position drift socks around the side. Sometimes they're in the front. And the way I do it is with paracord. This is 550 paracord. And what I do is I burn the ends, that way it doesn't ravel. And then all I do is I just take and make an overhand loop, just like that. And you got a knot. Now, you can take this, you can put it on any cleat, on any rail on your boat, and all you have to do is just slip it through, slip it on, tighten it up, and there you go. And you can adjust this anywhere you want. So if the front of the boat is dragging and, you know, it's twisting around on you and you want to bring that front end back around, or the rear, then you can adjust these, and then they're easy on and off. And that's Doc's tip for the night. Using paracord to adjust drift socks.
That's an outstanding tip, Doc. And, you know, I use something just like that. We have some of the extendable poles that they call them shallow water anchors that you shove in the sand or mud and anchor your boat. I have 2 of those, and I use a deal just like that, hooked up to the rod holders on the front of the boat to lock it in.
Yep. Works real well.
They work really well, but you got to tie that knot, and it really helps. So you're right about burning the ends on them to keep them from fraying out. It's just really good.
They'll unravel on a heartbeat.
They will, and they don't take up any space. I mean, you can put them anywhere, and you never know what else you could possibly use that for. But I never thought about using them on damn, lost my train of thought again.
Part of getting old.
Socks. Yeah, the drift socks. I never thought about doing that, but you know, I did use them on the shallow water anchors, and they work really well for that. So
yeah, it works out real well. I mean, I've got a total. I've got 2 54-inch ones. I've got one 32-inch. I used to have 2, and I lost one. And then I've got a huge 10-footer.
Yeah.
That I use. So.
Yep, that's really good. What else have we got to go over tonight?
I think that is about it, Lyle. I'll tell you what. It's 9:15. Well, it's 10. What is it your time?
8. It is 8:12.
Okay, it's 9:12 here in Ohio. Let's just spin that wheel one more time.
Let's do that.
So,
Pick me out a number, big guy.
number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the winner is Jerry Hall. Jerry Hall. Let's see what we can do for Jerry tonight, Doc. Whisker Sticks, Jerry Hall. If you will contact me with your contact information, I have some Whisker Sticks LED lights. I will package and send them right out to you. They're a great product. You're going to love them. I promise. I use them on coolers. The inside, tape them the inside of the lid on my coolers when we're traveling. When we do a lot of our travel at night, you go back there and we keep 2 liters of soda, so we just refill everything as we go. I know Doc uses his on his planer boards. There's a million uses for the things, and they are extremely bright, extremely easy to operate. You're just going to love them. Major Brown would like to know how the pre-orders are coming along for delivery on the RigRap sinker slides. I know Glenn has been watching the show. Glenn, do you have any information on that we could share with our viewers? Don't know. I haven't talked to Glenn. Like I say, we was gone a few days, so.
He's on the show right now. I see him right there.
I know the last I had knew Major that it's going to be a few weeks. So samples will be in a few weeks or so. So that'd be great. We're all looking forward to that. Everybody I see, Doc, they're interested in knowing when those are going to be out, and everybody's excited about them. And another thing that people are excited about is the survivor units. I get people asking me all the time, said, are you coming? They know I have a few. Said, are you coming? I want to pick them up when I see it at this tournament or that tournament. So get a hold of Robert. He will hook you up with your survivor units. If you want to meet me at a tournament or some event we're going to be at, I'll be happy to hook you up with one. Glenn's got the sinker slides coming. And in the meantime, while they're coming, go to his website and check out the other products that RigRap have. I promise you're going to love them. And if you get on there and order something and don't get a pair of those scissors, you're going to be so disappointed. They're just an amazing product. All right, Doc. I'm going to let everybody know next week, Rob Clodfelder from Whiskerware Apparel is supposed to join us on the show. We're looking forward to that. Rob's been a long time sponsor, does a lot for the sport, does a lot for you and I and Catfish Weekly. I'm really excited about getting on here. I know he's got a bunch of things happening with his company, so we're going to find out all the lowdown and get that done. Glenn from RigRap, free shipping on everything going on right now. Now is a great time to be ordering you some RigRap.
Yeah. There you go.
Shipping is something that people forget about when they're buying products. So if you're getting it for free, you need to get a hold of Glenn and make that happen, because that's a heck of a deal. I think that'll do it tonight. Wasn't as long as a lot of them, but it's still a pretty good deal.
We're an hour and 20 minutes.
Yep. The August issue of Catfish Now magazine will be out tonight. It includes a story on Callie Bowman, who won her story on the RigRap Prize wheel. So be sure and check that out. Callie is a sweet young lady. Even though she's Jeremy Cottingham's girlfriend, we're not going to hold that against her. I think the world of her. She's just a real nice girl. So I'm sure that Ron Presley has wrote up a really nice article about Callie. Looking forward to reading it, Ron. Thank you for letting us know about that. If there's nothing else.
And thanks everybody for tuning in to Catfish Weekly.
That's exactly right. We'll see you next Monday night at 7 Central. Be sure and tune in. We look forward to having you. Night, everybody.